Good morning, everybody. Let's fill in. We got to be friends here today. It's tight quarters inside the tent, but much better than standing outside in the wind. So, good morning. Thank you, everyone, for braving the elements and joining us here today. I'm Nathan Pine, Director of Athletics and host for today's groundbreaking ceremony. It's been a marathon to get us to this point. Long before I got here 4 years ago to lead the athletic department, we've had a lot of different groups and individuals that talked about the need to invest and upgrade Falcon Stadium in a meaningful way. A few smaller phases even came to fruition. We renovated the Blue and Silver Club, and we did the home locker room area. It's important to recognize both of those because they're significant achievements. Things are not easy or normal at the Air Force Academy. They're difficult. They're bureaucratic. They require change. And they require a lot of buy-in from folks and organizations not used to adapting to the needs of higher education. And that's before we even start to talk about the funding. So because of the incredible vision, generosity, and perseverance of donors like Jack and Vianne Kutra, buy-in from our campus partners at the Air Force Academy Foundation, and the support of our Athletic Corporation Board of Directors, we've finally been able to overcome the difficult as we stand here ready to break ground on this transformative project that will improve the trajectory of our athletic programs and our academy for the next generation. You can't imagine how good it feels to actually say that out loud finally. I believe it's important to appreciate that Falcon Stadium is more than just a football stadium. It's the first thing most people see when they look west at the Air Force Academy from I-25. It's the front porch for introducing many in the state and the local community to Academy at football games, at lacrosse games, and of course at graduation, which is the centerpiece and the culmination of the 4-year journey our cadets go through in their development as leaders of character for our Air Force and our Space Force. This project is good for the Academy. It'll positively impact the cadet wing for countless classes to come, and it will be a great addition to the entire fan base and to our community. As I look out across all of those that are huddled in here to join us today, and a lot of familiar faces, I think it's important to recognize a few of our partners here today, from HKS Architects, from GE Johnson Construction, from Nations Group, from UMB Bank, who are all going above and beyond and have gone above and beyond to make this project a reality. Thank you hardly seems enough or sufficient, but on behalf of our cadet athletes, our entire athletic department, and our academy, a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's played a part in getting us to this point here today. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to our superintendent, Lieutenant General Richard Clark, on this historic day. Sir.
Thank you. I think there's a reason they put the speaker out here in the elements. It's like the wind, it's colder here than it was right there. So I'm gonna go quick. I'm gonna turn up to 1.5. You know, we're gonna do some speed reading here. But first, good morning. Thanks to everyone for being here. Thank you for the introduction, Nate, and for being the driving force behind this project. It is another great day at USAFA. It's a cold day at USAFA, but neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night can keep us from making progress around our academy, even though it's difficult sometimes. But I'm proud to see how the partnerships with our supporting organizations can make amazing things possible. So thank you to the Foundation and the AFAC for your roles in leading this effort. Thank you especially to Jack and Vianne Kutra for your investment in the stadium and our academy's future. Additionally, I'd like to thank the El Pomar Foundation, the Chapman Foundation, Major General Gene Lupia, Mr. Jim Johnson, and the class of 66 for their contributions, and so many other partners that Nate talked about. I want to welcome a few special guests. Our mayor, John Suthers, not sure if the mayor made it, but we'll welcome him when he gets here. CEO of the Air Force Academy Foundation and the AOG, Lieutenant General Mike Gould, and Miss Paula didn't quite make it, but we welcome her always. And our commandant, our dean, I already talked about our athletic director, but our executive athletic director is here. My command chief, Chief Kwiatkowski, is with us today, and other distinguished guests, and most importantly, my wife Amy is right here. So thank you, honey, for being here. Absolutely. Now, there have been some great improvements in Falcon Stadium since I played here just a few short years ago, but nothing like this. The East Club project is by far the biggest improvement to date and will be a great step in modernizing our home field. This project is not only going to bring fans into our stadium, but athletes to our teams, cadets to our wing, and people to see the great things that happen here at USAFA. We are elevating our academy as a Division I school for all of our athletic programs. As a recruited athlete 4 decades ago, one of the first things I saw on my recruiting visit was this stadium, and I was in awe. Over the next 4 years as a Falcon football player, I had the distinct honor to play on several fields. We'd visit other Division I schools and walk out onto that field and just be in awe of that stadium. The presence, the crowds, the energy. There was something powerful about what was happening in those stadiums. 40 years later, I'm proud to see Falcon Stadium being transformed as we create the awe that truly reflects the caliber of our academy and of our amazing athletes. As we all know, athletics plays a key role in developing leaders of character. The courage, fortitude, and competitiveness that cadets build through sports prepares them as they serve our nation and win our wars. What we see here are people that are ready to go, that are ready to execute, and our Falcon football players have a penchant for victory. An awesome bowl win over Baylor, our 3 10-win seasons, our Commander and Chiefs trophy coming home. These successes bring increased awareness to USAFA as a place where future cadets can come and compete at the highest levels. Falcon Stadium isn't just about football. It's our showcase for other sports, concerts, major events, and of course, graduation. These upgrades are a direct reflection of the pride we have, not just on our athletic teams, but in our academy writ large. All of the work happening around USAFA is like a home remodel. We're our very own HGTV show here. I always say it's like a construction site when you drive around the base, but what it really means is that we're fixing up our home. The work at the North Gate is fixing up our entryway, painting the front door, and creating some extra curb appeal to pull people in. On the Hill, we're expanding academic and training spaces, which is like upgrading the office to give us increased capability to get the mission done. And this stadium improvement, like Nate said, is like modernizing our front porch, but I look at it almost like modernizing our living room. We're putting together a welcoming environment for our community friends to come, grab a seat, relax, be entertained, eat some food, and watch us beat down on our opponents. We're upgrading our home to show the same pride in our facilities that we have for our teams and our cadets, and I couldn't be more excited that Falcon Stadium, our stadium, will truly reflect this amazing institution. Thanks again to the Foundation and the AFAC for making this happen. Your efforts will keep USAFA competitive in attracting America's most talented men and women, and this project will build on our relationships and increase our ability to invite the community to be a part of something truly special. So thank you all for being here today. And now I'd like to introduce the CEO of the Air Force Academy Foundation and suit number 18, Lieutenant General Mike Gould. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Soup, and good morning, everybody. Nate, thank you for this. On behalf of the Association of Graduates and the Air Force Academy Foundation, I want to express my extreme gratitude for your leadership to make this happen today, and for all you do as Director of Athletics at our Academy. Amazing work keeps this mission moving forward. Also want to thank Dr. Nancy Hickson, CEO of the Air Force Academy Athletic Association. Nancy, we are grateful for your dedication and the hard work and partnership in making all this happen. Thanks for being a passionate champion of Air Force athletics. We all want the same things, let's face it. We want this stadium to be a first-class venue and for Air Force athletics to continue to reflect the excellence of our academy and the long blue line. This East Side modernization is a long-awaited and greatly needed investment in Falcon Stadium, and in many respects, like several have said before, our front porch, our front door, an important part of our academy. Soup, I want to thank you for your leadership, what you do to set the tone at our academy. It's not only essential to get shovels in the ground here this morning, but it's also been vital in building this partnership between all the supporting foundations. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A lot like Nate said, this has been a hard project. Getting here wasn't easy, and at various points throughout this, we could have said, no, too hard, too complex, let's forget it. But the team stayed hard at it and focused. And among those unswerving leaders are our good friends Jack, class of 78, and Vianne Kutra. They've committed $10 million to this project, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, guys. A true act of philanthropic leadership. As many of you know, Jack is the chairman of the Air Force Academy Foundation Board. He's maintained this unwavering engagement, and Jack, we thank you for all you've done to get us to this point. Also want to thank Major General Retired Gene Lupia, class of 77, who is unable to be with us here today, but his unmatched civil engineering expertise has been absolutely essential to this project. We've had to work through some real adversity, all made a bit more challenging by rising construction costs. The headwinds were real. Gene, thank you for getting us through this. Also, a thanks to many who have invested in this project. Nate already mentioned the Chapman Foundation, the El Pomar Foundation, Brian Applegate, a classmate of mine from 76, Eric Davis, the class of 95, and the class of 66. Also want to thank the HKS design team, represented here by several members of their Denver office, and the former principal architect for HKS, Owen Coffey. Done some great work, and we're looking forward to this. And a final thanks to Jim Johnson and the outstanding team at GE Johnson. We know, Jim, where are you? We know you will build it well, and they will, in fact, come. Now, I don't want anybody to leave here today without realizing that we have work to do with our fundraising for this project. We're excited to keep the conversations going with graduates, families, foundations, corporations, and others who see the vital role of athletics in our academy's mission. Many of us here today are living proof of the power of athletic competition in leadership development. I, for one, owe an awful lot to Air Force football. So let's all dedicate ourselves to doing everything we can to bring as many passionate supporters of Air Force athletics under this tent, literally and figuratively, to ensure this project and indeed the Academy mission keeps moving forward. Thank you for all you do for our Academy.
All right, Jack, you're the man of the hour. The podium is yours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nate. Thank you. I don't really like being the man of the hour. I think you know that. And nobody told you this job was going to be hard, that things are difficult at the Air Force Academy?
Of course they did.
Yeah, I hope nothing was misrepresented in your interview. But, Soup, we wouldn't be here today without your leadership and your commitment to this project. And I mean that quite literally, because I can tell you if the superintendent isn't committed to this project and it moves to a different place on the priority list, it doesn't get done. So we're very, very grateful to you. We're glad you've taken your direction from Amy. So thank you, sir. So Nate and Nancy, really, really grateful. It takes courage to do great things. And I know that it's taken courage to make this pro forma for this project right. And lots and lots of people are going to be grateful that that you went nose to the grindstone. You did that and made it happen. So thank you very much. I'm not understating it when I say that our family loves the Air Force Academy. And Mike, you always get choked up, and I think I shouldn't get choked up here, but Gould does it, so why shouldn't I? But no, Vian and I started dating 2 weeks before I came to the Air Force Academy, and I got a flyby. So we started dating 2 weeks before I came to the Air Force Academy. So we've done this entire journey together, and if I've gotten discouraged about any of these projects, I get kicked in the butt at home and told to get back on course. So thank you. Vian, thank you. I appreciate it very much. So anyway, for the AFAC, athletics, everyone, and especially our hardworking staff at the foundation, we're just really grateful for all the efforts made. My dad also loved this place. He passed away about 15 months ago. He spent the last 27 months of his life in a VA facility, and it was fabulous. And he served in the mid-50s and had the opportunity to donate to the construction of the football stadium at the brand new Air Force Academy. And he says, as an E3, he was making $85 a week, and he donated $1. I almost said that he had to. I don't think it was optional, but so Dad kind of joked that my college education cost him $24. So anyway, he also loved the place. But for me, the lessons learned here, to experience something so much bigger than yourself, to be part of a team, it's something that I don't think, in a lot of ways, maybe you can't appreciate it unless you do it. But it's definitely a different experience than kids at regular colleges are getting. So, those friendships that we forged, my best friends in my life today are people I met here, and that remains so. When I was a sophomore, linebacker, nose guard, Mike Gould was a senior defensive back. We played together, and then years later, when we were doing our very first project, the Holiday Athletic Center, and we had a committee that interviewed design build teams, and ultimately the committee made a recommendation that G.E. Johnson and Cannon Group be that successful team, and I was asked to go present our recommendation to the superintendent, and the superintendent was my old football buddy, Mike Gould. And here we are today, years later, and Mike's the CEO, and we're still working together. So a lifetime of that. I'd like to mention that my linebacker coach at that time was Major John Lorber. And so he's a 13-year major coach in football at the Air Force Academy. He scored the first touchdown in Falcon Stadium. Excuse me. And I remember asking him, Coach, what's this done to your career? He says, I'm done. I'm never going to get promoted again. But I don't care. I always wanted to do this. I've loved being here. I've loved being part of Falcon football as a coach. And so Vian threw a surprise 40th birthday party for me, and she wanted to track down Coach Lorber, see where he was at. She found him. He was in Hawaii. And she said, Coach, I'm having a surprise birthday party for Jack. You think you can make it? He says, I can't make it, but I'll send you a letter. And he took time to write a beautiful letter that is framed and in my study at home. And he was a 4-star commander of the Pacific Forces. And, that was the kind of relationship that we forged, and that was to people who were fortunate enough, blessed enough to attend the Air Force Academy. For the last 13 or 14 years, I've flown Troy and some of his staff around recruiting. He and I did 20 legs in 5 days last week. So if you enjoy flying, it's a lot of flying. But I do that I do love flying, but at some point, 20 legs in five days isn't all that much fun. Okay. three landings to hard minimums in fog, in places I've never been. It was a little bit of a test, but the reason I do that is because, one, the coaches are going to see twice as many kids as they can if they do that commercially, and I understand how transformative it's going to be for those kids to be able to come to the Air Force Academy. And these aren't kids of privilege, you know. Their moms and dads aren't going to send them off to a $65,000 a year tuition school. There's a lot of kids that come from tough places, and their lives are literally going to be transformed by the decision to come here. So, where all I do is drive. I'm Sky Uber, but at the end of the day, I know that there's some kid out there that's going to end up going to the Air Force Academy that might not otherwise have if the coaches hadn't been able to continue to be in front of them. Because this isn't the first time you're seeing these kids. They've seen them many, many times. So, you know, by end, I went to one of the Commander-in-Chief's trophies presentations when President Trump was in office, and we were sitting there, and I elbow my head and I'd say, "He's off script. He's off script." After about 20 times, I stopped. I'm off script, okay? So I apologize for that if I've taken more than my 5 minutes. But, you know, we at the Air Force Academy have a motto of integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. The one area that I don't think we've achieved the excellence that we need to is right behind me. I think we owe it to these young people, men and women. Over 1,000 of our cadets are intercollegiate athletes in 27 sports. The success of this program has a lot to do with what we're going to be able to do in supporting those programs. So I'm very pleased that we're taking the next steps to make this place as excellent as all the rest of the Air Force Academy is. Thank you. I'll echo Mike's. We're not done fundraising, and we're grateful to all the donors who've already stepped up, and we're looking for more. So thank you. I appreciate being here.
Okay, we're at the finish line. This is going to happen, Vianne. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. and Mrs. Kutra, General Clark, Coach Calhoun, General Retired Gould. Let's don a hard hat and let's turn a shovel. All right, they'll tell us when.
Keep my hard hat on.
All right, we ready?
Go ahead.
And a turn, 2, 3. Oh, turn it over. There we go. Yeah.
Where's my shovel? I think you get these at Home Depot.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.